Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Myself Tagore. Today we are going to discuss about conflicts. Let's dive into our topic.
Let us see today's topic Conslist. Conslist is a basic functional data structure. It is a common data structure used to build lists and cons functions that construct a newly list by attaching an element to the front of an existing list, and these operations is common in functional languages like Haskell, and etc. And it is useful for building linked lists in a immutable way. These are immutable linked list structures. It is a cons list is essentially a linked list where each node contains of data and pointed to the next node. This functional program emphasizes immutability. A cons list preserves the existing list while build a new version that maintains the immutability. For performing any operations or adding a new head or new element to the existing cons list, it make a copy of the older cons list and perform operations on that cons list. And we can see next we will explore Conslist, a functional data structure for creating a immutable list. And understanding its mechanism and advantages is essential for the developers working with functional programming languages. Let's dive into some core concepts of the Conslist. Conslist is a linked list structure where each element points to the next. It consists of head and a tail, allowing for efficient constructions and manipulation. This structure is immutable, meaning once it's created, it cannot be changed, but it preserves the data of previous one. We can see in diagram, one is head and one is and another head. These both heads are attached by the tails. Next, advantages of immutable list. Using immutable list like cons list provides several benefits such as threat safety, ease of reasoning about the code, and improved functional programming practices. These advantages help prevent side effects, making code more predictable and easy. Let's see the cons list operations. Common operations on cons list include cons, head, and tail. The cons operation added an element to the front. This cons operation attaches a new element to the front of the list and create a new list without altering the original list. And head and tail. The head of the list is the first element and tail returns the remainder of the list. That means the rest of the list. A list is often recursively defined as either an empty list or an element followed by the cons of the next element in the list. These operations are efficient and support functional priority. Next, Conslist is a type of persistent data structure in functional programming that made up the cons list as immutable. Each cons page contains a stored value and a pointer to the previous node. Some characteristics of cons list. Immutable. Operations performed on the cons list creates a new list and the existing elements cannot be modified. Next, head-tail decomposition. Cons list can be break down into head and tail, which makes it easier to write recursive algorithm. Next, simple structure. Cons lists are the basis of a simple singly linked list. It's a it's also a type of linked list it contains head and tail and null also. Null is nil. Nil means no element in the list. And another some operation appending a value to the cons list is easy, but appending a new value to the end is more complicated. Next, we can see a Python code for creating a cons list. We defined a class cons list and initialize the function def hmm, self head equals to none and tail equals to none. We are assigning the head and tail values. Next, we are defining isEmpty function. This isEmpty is used to check the list is empty or not, and it returns the values self dot head is none and self dot tail is none. Next, we are representing this value. If this list is empty, we can return the empty values, or it contains some values, it returns that values. Next, we are creating a new list. We are creating a new list for performing the operation because our cons list is immutable. So we are creating a new list for adding an element, and we are returning the element. Next, we are converting that cons list to a regular Python list for easier viewing or easier accessing. We are assigning self to the current and we are creating a result wave. Next, we are checking the current is empty or not, and if while not current is empty, the result dot append current dot head, and the current tail is gives to current and return the results. Next, we are defining to create from a regular Python list. We are creating the Python list. It's we are assigning the cons list to the cons list, and we are checking the items in that Python list, and we are assigning the each value in the list and returning the cons list. We are taking an manual example of a cons list for adding the numbers. Here we are taking the cons 3, 2 and 1. We are printing the cons list. It contains 1, 2 and 3 and 1 empty. It prints like 1, 2, 3 and empty. And we are converting this cons list into Python list by printing cons list dot to list, and we are creating a cons list from a Python list, and again we are creating a cons list from the Python list, passing these value 1, 2, 3 for the Python list and cons list from py list. Is assign the values of cons list dot from list of Python list, and we are printing that cons list. In this way, we create a cons list by using Python program. Next, uses of cons list. Cons list is widely used in fundamental programming language such as Lisp and Scala. It is ideal for application require persistent data structures and supports various algorithms, including recursion and high order function, enhancing the code reusability and efficiency. Next, conclusion. Conclusion of cons list. Cons list serves as a robust foundation for immutable list. It, it has a unique properties and operations make it valuable tool in functional programming. And understanding its mechanic allows
developers to leverage its benefits and efficiently in their application. Such that we conclude this video. Thank you.